Here we go. Okay, so we should have our recording started and we're going to launch into today's chapter presidents and advisors meeting today. As always, please introduce yourself in the chat, and I'm going to mute a few people. But if you will help with our meeting management today, if you'll keep yourself muted just to help with sound, please feel free to share video. It's nice to see some faces. I have started the recording. As mentioned, I will share the slides, the recording, and the new notes that Gold Star Bruce Neville is taking for us today. Again, thank you, Bruce, for doing that. All right, so this is our September president's meeting, as we had our August meeting at the beginning of August. So it's been about a month and a half since we've last talked. So hopefully we haven't missed too much, and you guys haven't missed us too much, because we've definitely been filling your email inboxes with a lot since then. But we've got quite a bit to talk about today. And I'm gonna kick us off with the agenda a little bit. And Michelle, I'm gonna talk through the first couple of things, and then I think you're on after that. So again, our agenda for today, we're going to start with the merchandise. So there's been a couple of changes with the Master Naturalist sales of specific items over the last couple of years. And I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys as we've had a number of different questions come up over the last month or so from different chapters on the different types of merchandise and the different locations of merchandise items. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this today, but again, just clarifying kind of where we're at so far. There are state offered items, and then there are local chapter produced items. The state offered merchandise, swag, TMN t-shirts, hats, patches, logoed gear has our official Texas Master Naturalist trademarked logo on them. Those are approved with our logo trademark process that we have. They are designed with the specific program, colors, and font and design that we have for our program. We typically offer those with bulk or discount pricing as well. Again, I'm going to mute a few people just to make sure that we're keeping our sound down. We also have local chapter produced items. Some chapters have taken it upon themselves to outsource local chapter needs for shirts or hats or things. With those locally produced items, we have always required that they follow TMN marketing and brand ID guidelines, especially since our logo is trademarked. All of those locally produced items have to at least have had an artwork approved by the state office to give our trademark approval for those the use of the brand, the use of the logo. And when we review those designs, we normally just check that, again, that the brand is being used appropriately, the fonts, the colors, the designs, those things have been thought through with that marketing and brand ID guideline that we have on our website. So must have previously gotten a TMN logo approved by the state office. We're looking at things that we're going to do to make this more efficient in 2022. And we'll talk about that in the coming months, but just to kind of let you know where we're at right now. And then when we go forward with kind of cleaning up some of this or just making this process easier, facilitating a better process for producing TMN merchandise in the future, we'll talk about that in a few months. The next thing is, where can you get Texas Master Naturalist items inventory? This question has been asked a lot in the last couple of months, and I just wanted to kind of, again, just re-clarify where all this stuff is, and we encourage you to share this material or this information with your chapter leaders, your board, so that they're aware of all of these different sources of Master Naturalist gear from the state office. Our curriculum is produced and sold by Texas A&M University Press, TAMU Press. You can also find it on Amazon or eBay. Those are third-party sellers. They buy it from A&M Press and then they resell it. But we get our bulk discount if you buy directly, if you as a chapter buy directly from A&M Press, you will get a bulk discount for those curriculums. If you buy 10 or more books, you get that 50% off order. We have the order form on our website. I think Michelle's going to drop that that link in the chat here in just a second. But again, on that about/curriculum page is where you will find our bulk ordering form for the curriculum directly from A&M Press. I've also had a number of questions, and I have not gotten to my email efficiently this week so far, but we are going to be offering a bulk ordering at the annual meeting. So what I'm going to do is I have it in my inbox to send out later today. If not first thing tomorrow morning, I'll send out an email with the bulk ordering form for annual meeting pickup. If you want to save on shipping, you can order your books ahead of time, and then we'll have an A&M Press staff member will be physically present at the annual meeting in a few weeks to hand out those bulk orders. So just make sure that you have enough room in your car to load up those books that you're ordering. It saves on shipping a little bit. The second location where we have merchandise sold at the statewide level actually is broken down into two locations. For our shirts and our hats and our merchandise, we have the majority of our items are housed in our AgriLife bookstore. Those are merchandise items that we purchase in bulk. We stock in our bookstore. We're able to offer those discounts. We do have limited quantities and sizes sometimes, and I try to get those refreshed about once every quarter or so. But those items that are on that warehouse bookshelf will ship right away. You can see what they have in stock. And I'm going to show you their new website here in just a second. We also will occasionally do a drop ship or a member item. We've also called it a pop-up store before. These pop-up stores have limited purchase periods. They don't ship immediately. They take a few weeks to produce and then to ship, but we collect all of the different orders, the sizes, the colors, the different variations. Then we place the bulk order and then we ship them out. So it's not Amazon Prime where you get it in 2 days. It is submit your color, your size preference, and pay for it. And then in 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have your items shipped to you. So that takes a little bit longer. And so those are our two main inventory items, or inventory locations and ordering processes right now. Oh, I just saw the name tags. I left name tags out of this. Name tags is a whole, Nancy, you submitted that question earlier. Name tags is a whole other thing. And that's actually a third item on this 2-column page right here. We have a number of dealers around the state who have approved Texas Master Naturalist logo use to produce name tags. The list that's on our website with name tags is probably about 2 years old now. We had an incredible volunteer, Margot, came through and put a new list together, and she made that list for me early in the summer, and I have yet to get it on the website. It has just kept falling through the cracks on the to-do list. So I have a to-do list item on my calendar to update the name tag list of producers and resellers of our sellers of our name tags. So that will get done probably not until November. But I do have that list. Okay. So while we're talking about inventory, let's just change things up again. We no longer have an AgriLife bookstore. They have changed their title. They are now called AgriLife Learn. So agrilifelearn.tamu.edu. This is where you will get your Master Naturalist hats and books, hats, not books, hats and shirts under the merchandise tab on that website. So agrilifelearn.tamu.edu. The website is just launched within the last 2 weeks. It has a lot to be desired, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to do a quick navigation show and tell for you, because again, it has a lot to be desired still, but they are working on it quickly. This is where you can both purchase your Master Naturalist gear, but also take online classes that A&M offers or AgriLife Extension offers under their courses. They also have a publications tab if you're interested in any of the downloadable publications that they have. But our gear lives under this merchandise tab right here. Last I heard, they had probably 20 to 30% of all items actually online. And so it's a slow process and it's agonizing. We have asked for better pictures of our items as well. So this is not a crumpled up bag. Trust me, it's a jacket and it looks nice, but it does not look nice in this picture. So it is a process. Have patience with us. We are asking a lot here. So if you go to merchandise, you can also search Master Naturalist, and that will bring up all of our gear here. Okay. Let me go back to, there we go. Okay, so again, agrilife.learn.tmn.edu, that's where all of our stuff is. I have not emailed this out to you guys yet because the website has a little bit more to work that needs to be done before it goes out to all of our members. Okay. And then last but not least, before I hand it over to Michelle, speaking of merchandise and inventory and things with our logo on them, our license plate, I would not have a Master Naturalist President's meeting without talking about our license plate. Sales have been going on for a few months, and we're excited to start seeing them on the road. Okay, Michelle?
Yeah. So a couple of upcoming events that we have for the program. I hope that all of you have been tuning in for our TMN Tuesdays already. October's TMN Tuesday is going to be our project presentations from our exemplary project awards, where all of our chapters who are submitting a project for this award that is in conjunction with the annual meeting, they will be presenting these projects through our TMN Tuesday event. And at the same time, we will have our panel of judges reviewing the presentation and the project and selecting winners, which will be announced at our annual meeting. So that's the October 12th session. It is kind of in conjunction with the annual meeting, and the project presentations are presented as projects that any chapter can kind of adopt and adapt in their local area. We ask everybody to just tune in and learn about the other projects going on in other chapters across the state. This is as I mentioned, this is something that we usually have during the annual meeting. But last year, since we went all virtual with the annual meeting, we changed up the process for the project fair, and everything was presented through a meeting just like this. And it was very enlightening, very exciting. We got to see all about the projects that chapters were doing, especially during the pandemic, and in a safe and healthy way. But I left that day just feeling excited, and I just had the best feeling of hearing what our chapters were doing and how they were able to press on in their projects during some very difficult times. And obviously this year will be no different, since we're still persisting through all of that. So we ask you to first submit a project if you haven't yet for the contest, and then to tune in to either present that project or view the projects that are being presented. It is because of the number of sessions that we are expecting, or the number of projects. We do have a longer time period set aside for the project fair that day, for that TMN Tuesday. And because we're still accepting projects to be entered into this yet, we don't have a specific agenda for you yet. So as soon as the contest deadline entry closes, which is Thursday or Friday, we will have that for you and begin scheduling those and get a schedule out for the TMN Tuesday on the 12th. And then our second event, TMN Tuesday coming up. I'm sorry, the next TMN Tuesday after that in November, so after the annual meeting, got lots going on in October. TMN Tuesday, our annual meeting, and then our next TMN Tuesday in November is will be November 9th with Nate Fuller talking about the bats of Texas, the status of bats in Texas. And I'm sure that white nose syndrome and other issues that bats in Texas are experiencing right now will be part of that agenda as well. So tune in to join us in November. Another switching gears a little bit, our update on training policy, our basic training policy, advanced training temporary policies, and certification for 2021. If you remember earlier in the year, we had our interim policy for certification and basic training and advanced training. And that has not changed right now, except the update to that is that we've added the 2021 annual meeting. Information about the 2021 annual meeting and how that how the policy applies. So earlier in the year, we had we've been offering our TMN Tuesdays as advanced training. These were trainings that you can watch either live or recorded and receive advanced training credit for throughout the year. We've added the 2021 annual meeting recorded sessions to that. Those can be watched through April 2022 for advanced training. So the annual meeting, any of the sessions, if you register for the annual meeting, those will be available for 90 days after the event takes place. And so the policy fits that, the availability of those. And then I'm going to hand it over to Mary Pearl for annual meeting.
So can you tell that we've been on Zoom way too much today, and we're both just trying to figure out who's going next. Okay, so we are only 24 days until the annual meeting, and we've got a lot to talk about with that, and just make sure that you guys have information to answer any questions that your members may be asking, and hopefully answer any questions that you may have as an attendee. If you have not registered yet, or if any of your chapter members have not registered yet, there are only 4 days left to register as an in-person attendee. Virtual attendee registration prices will increase on Friday or on Saturday morning, technically, as virtual registration changes Friday night as well. So Friday is a big day for our annual meeting registration page. As we've talked about in the past, we have a COVID policy for our annual meeting. Michelle, did you want to talk through the COVID policy, or do you want me to run through this one?
Go ahead, I'm dropping a link.
Okay, good. So we have a published COVID policy for our Master Naturalist annual meeting for all of our in-person attendees. It is linked that Michelle's going to drop in for you. We are going to talk through just a few of the main points of the COVID policy with you as chapter leaders, so that hopefully you can help to answer any questions that your chapter members may have about this COVID policy. At the time of the writing of the policy, masks were mandatory in all commercial spaces in Dallas County. Our meeting facility does fall within Dallas County boundaries. And so we will follow the local facility guidelines and the local county guidelines requiring masks. State leadership will be wearing masks the entire time as required by policy. Please bring your own PPE gear. We will have masks provided for in-person registrants if needed as well. And again, following all mask mandates issued by Dallas County, and share any updates if those happen between now and the event. Social distancing will be encouraged and set out through the way that we lay out the annual meeting. We'll have fewer chairs and more space between the chairs in all of the meeting space. All of our sessions will be set for to allow for social distancing. Please just help if there please help us to encourage that social distancing. If there are individual master naturalists or members that you notice, just kind of keep your own personal distance from the other attendees. Sanitizer stations will also be made available throughout the meeting space areas and in all common space areas. The hotel has those scattered throughout now, and we'll be bringing our own hand sanitizer as well. The Dallas-Fort Worth Marriott Airport Hotel has a pretty extensive taking care of you COVID policy in place already. I'm not going to read all of this, but it talks through their specific methodology for maintaining health and safety as a priority on their facility grounds. One thing that's not in here is that we were recently told that they have acquired a pure meeting air purifier system. We're still learning a little bit about that, but this pure meeting air purifier system is supposed to filter meeting space air down to 0.007 microns, a very small amount, and is supposed to help to clean all of the meeting space air. And I think they acquired 3 or 4 of them. Again, we're still learning about some of that, but they have generously obtained those for their meeting space area, and we'll have those on throughout the event space. And then with our COVID guidelines, a couple of other things. We are requiring that all people on site follow that COVID policy, including not only attendees, but also speakers or presenters that come on site for the conference. And we ask that if you are traveling in and sharing a room with somebody, or if you are not feeling well, please consider your own health and health considerations as you are attending the event. We will be using the in-person registration as part of our contract tracing for the event, should it be necessary post-event. Okay, and then our COVID policy, we have these graphics. We encourage you to share these with your chapter members. They are on our website. I think Michelle dropped in the COVID policy link, but on our actual annual meeting page, if you just put hashtag COVID, it will pop up to the place where you can find these graphics of our COVID policy. Easier to share that way. Okay, Michelle, I'm going to keep going until you tell me to stop, because I think the next one's me too.
So we have a question in the chat about in-person. How many people have registered for in-person and virtual? I'd already included that between 500 and 600 total for the event have registered.
Yeah, it was just over 200 had registered for in-person attendance as of this morning when I first checked. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going, Michelle, until you tell me to stop.
Oh no, I was supposed to. Was I supposed to cover
You're going to cover this? Okay, you can do these.
Oh, yeah. So obviously this is a big week for us. Like all of our deadlines happen this week, Thursday and Friday. Project fair deadline. I talked about the project fair earlier in the meeting today. If you are a chapter that is submitting a project for the project fair, we need to have your paragraph description for that by October 1st. And there's a link on our page. Mary Pearl, if you can drop the links for the project fair entry in the chat. All you have to do is send us that little paragraph about your project, and you would be considered entered into the project fair. And we would be in contact with you to set up your time to present during the October 12th presentation. Also on Friday, is our advisor award nominations are due. And so remember, you can submit, you could nominate a single advisor for your chapter or an entire team of advisors for your chapter for an award. Both, it's one application for either one, and that is due by Friday as well. Other contests and awards due on Friday is our video contest. Remember, that's just a up to 3-minute video for during or for the event or for the award. Those would be reviewed by a team of judges, and then all the winners would be announced during the annual meeting, Saturday and Sunday during the annual meeting. Project fair, we covered that.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up.
Do you want to cover photo and art contest?
Yeah, sure. So our photo and art contest is open now. Submissions for photo and art will end on Thursday this week. So you must enter your photo, art, or media contest entry by Thursday, not Friday, but Thursday this week. And that is also on that same page for the contest and awards. The Gideon Lincecum chapter is hosting that event for us this year. And so they have a form on the website and will be helping to manage the voting. Voting will open during the annual meeting and will be for all registered attendees of the annual meeting. And that voting will happen through the event meeting app or website that we have set up for you as well. Okay. And then Donna Cole sent out an email on 9/8. Donna is a member of the Blackland Prairie chapter, and she has done this for us for a number of years, where she has collected photos from chapters to create a chapter roll call video. And it's a great presentation. We have them from years and years of her volunteer work on this. And so if you did not receive that email, or if you need to submit your photos, please email those to Donna Cole directly so that she can make sure that your chapter is represented in this year's photo slideshow. She's asked for all of those by October 3rd or earlier so that she can get that video made for us.
Oh, just a note. So Bruce messaged me. So I said that almost all the awards were due on the October 1st. The website says the advisor awards are due the 30th. Or I'm sorry, yeah, the 30th, but we will accept it on the 1st.
As well. Yeah. We just need to make
just consider all the deadlines October 1st.
Just yeah. Okay. So we've talked through this slide before. This is our agenda for the meeting, where we'll start Thursday at noon with our president's meeting, Friday sessions and keynote and field sessions, Saturday technical sessions, meals, and our awards presentation Saturday evening. Sunday is just breakfast and our contest awards. So there's no additional technical sessions on Sunday, and those field sessions are scattered throughout the event's agenda. Specifically for those of y'all on the phone today, with our chapter presidents and advisors luncheon, both presidents and advisors are welcome to attend our luncheon. It will be a hybrid event. It will be on Thursday, October 21st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We do anticipate using all 3 of those hours for this meeting, so please hold that block for us. If you are registered as an in-person attendee, please make sure that you have it checked on your in-person registration so that we make sure that we include you in the head count for the meal. If you are a virtual attendee, please make sure that you have checked it on your virtual registration so that we can make sure that we give you access to the virtual meeting that we'll be using for that session. If you are not registering for the conference, you need to let us know so that we can find a way to get you into that session for the president's meeting. It'll take a few extra steps, but we can make that happen. We have a tentative agenda on the left-hand side here. We're going to talk through a 2021 in review, 2022 program planning. We'll talk through a couple of programming updates from this year and things that we're looking forward to with next year. We'll give a financial state of the program. We have some swag pickup that we'll have at that president's meeting if you are in person. If you are virtual, we'll figure out a way to get that worked out. Calendar check, we'll go through the calendar for the next year. And then I believe we're going to have a guest speaker, game warden, join us at the end as well, or sometime throughout the meeting. I'm not sure when exactly. So this is our tentative agenda to discuss during that 3-hour time period. As you can see, that's a lot. That's why I'm nervous that 3 hours is going to be a very full 3 hours. If there are other things that you want discussed, please send Michelle and I an email and we'll see if if time will allow. And please drop in the chat if you're going to join us, because it'd be great to see you guys all in person and not virtually. Okay, and then with our annual meeting, it cannot be done without volunteers. And so the Blackland Prairie chapter has taken lead on bringing volunteers together for the annual meeting. They're putting together a system to collect those volunteers, and then we'll be sending it out to helping us to send it out to attendees for the meeting and gathering that list of volunteers that can help us make this event happen. So we've got 6 volunteers for move in and move out. Registration desk will have 6 on each individual day. And then we're also putting together meeting room host volunteers or moderators for each of the sessions to help with the hybrid and technology aspect of the conference. If this sounds like something that you want to help with and you want to volunteer during the annual meeting, please look forward to seeing that email in your inboxes within the next week or so. Tom, did I get all that right? He's unmuted.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Tom, for your help on pulling all that together. All right. Yeah, Blackland Prairie chapter is sending out a sign up genius, and that should be out within the next week or so, I'd imagine. Okay. Lodging at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport Marriott. If you have not registered, if you have registered to attend as an in-person but have not made your room reservation, that is a separate website that you have to go to, or a separate thing that you have to toggle. Your annual meeting registration does not guarantee you a room. That's a separate reservation that you have to make. So just please make sure that you have toggled that. If you want to come in early or stay a few days late, I know we've got a few folks that are making a little bit longer out of a trip out of it. We've got an email address for Maya Gonzalez, who's our event coordinator, and she'll add that pre and post stay to your room reservation. Yep. If you've registered for the conference but not reserved your hotel room yet, you have to do that before October 1st. We will start releasing rooms, not all the rooms, but we will start releasing rooms on October 1st. So please make sure, encourage your chapter members to have their room reservations made along with their registration. Okay, and then like Michelle said, it's a busy week. We've got some big timelines and deadlines happening. October 1st, our full event registration will close. Our 2-day event registration will close as well. That standard registration ends at midnight on October 1st. So Friday evening late, our in-person registration closes. Virtual registration will turn to a late virtual registration on October 1st at midnight as well. So October 1st at midnight, if you are still planning to come, you can, but you will have to pay for the late virtual registration only at that time. Okay, man, Michelle, we're flying through this today. I feel like there should be more questions, but I'm okay with that. We also have our virtual nature venture is happening now. The Cross Timbers chapter has been incredible to work with in putting together this virtual nature venture fundraiser event. This is the fundraiser event that replaces our silent auction that typically happens at the annual meeting. And we currently have 90+ registered. If you will please register by October 14th, that registration will close after that day. And Michelle, if you'll grab that link and drop it in the chat for us. Sharon, anything you want to add about Virtual Nature Venture?
Just that I've been monitoring the Facebook posts, and seems like quite a few folks have dropped in pictures of animals and plants that they've seen going along with the nature venture. That's been fun to look at.
Awesome. It has been fun. Okay. And then sponsorships, we are still accepting sponsorships for the annual meeting. So if your chapter has considered donating for the annual meeting, that helps to provide financial sustainability for the annual meeting. It is a cost recovery based event, and costs have been all over the place this last year. Michelle, if you'll ask if there are any other questions that members want to hear. Let me open this door real fast.
I've got two things. So two things that probably we need to mention. One, if you could mention the dates about the coffee hours and tech checks that we're going to have, since we're using just a little bit different platform than what we had last year. And then the other one was if we could address volunteers at the annual meeting. Do they need to be registered?
Yes, I can. I apologize. I still regret putting my my home office right next to the exterior door of the house where everybody comes in and comes out. Volunteers. So with annual meeting volunteers, we have a couple of different types of volunteers. Move in and move out volunteers on Thursday and Sunday do not need to be registered, but will have to sign a COVID release form as registration currently covers that COVID policy for COVID screening form. And so they do not need to be registered, but they do have to follow our COVID guidelines and sign that screening form in addition to before they arrive. For registration desk and meeting room host volunteers, they do have to be registered. Their registration also helps to manage that COVID release form or that COVID screening form as well. What was the other question? The virtual coffee hours? Actually,
Yes,
I don't have that
coffee hours, if we
memorized.
could mention those.
Okay, give me just a second to find this. I don't have those memorized, and I don't have a cute graphic to show you. I didn't put those in. So we have 3 participant coffee hours, I believe, Michelle, scheduled. I have not put these out on the interweb yet, and I will put them out, I guess today. I can put those out here pretty quick. No, we did. We sent them out in an email last week to registrants. We'll send them out again. Our first participant coffee hour is Thursday, October 14th at 10 a.m. Our next one is Friday, October 15th at 9 a.m. Nope, that's wrong. Darn it. This is why I don't have them in a cute little graphic. Let me start over. I got distracted. Thursday, October 14th at 10 a.m. Saturday, October 16th at 8 a.m. And Monday, October 19th at 12 p.m. Michelle, did I get that all?
I think so.
Okay. I will get a graphic put together. I will get that sent out in an email to all chapter presidents. I apologize for not having that in the PowerPoint. What other questions do we have? I've closed my chat so I could see what was going on.
I think I've answered the other ones.
Okay. Nancy asked, what is the email to stay an extra night? That's Myra Gonzalez. That email address is on our website. Let's see if I can just pull this over. It's on it's on this page. Click here to register. Lodging. No, it's not there. Oh, it was in the email, the individual emails for members. I will get that, Nancy, here in just a second.
Yeah, I told her we'd have to send it offline
Okay.
because have it handy.
See, y'all are asking the good questions today, all the ones that I don't have the answers for. Are there any other questions about the annual meeting that you're hearing from your chapter members, things that we can help to clarify as we get ready for this event?
Mickey mentioned that the other coffee hour was October 18th.
Okay, thank you. Again, I did not have that ready for today at all. So I will.
It was a last minute. Oh, I think we need to mention that.
I will have a follow-up email to you guys with some of that stuff. Okay, well, are there other questions for our President's Roundtable, non-annual meeting related that y'all want to ask? I hesitate to push because you guys are so quiet.
So yeah, we have 2 questions out for y'all right now, and we'll just give you a minute or 2 to drop in the chat if you have questions. The first question out there is, what other questions do you have about our hybrid annual meeting event? And then the second question is, we're planning for the president's luncheon. And so what questions do you have amongst yourselves that you might want to converse with other chapter presidents about during that event?
While y'all are considering those, I'm going to put the final slide on the screen just so that you have it. You can take a screenshot of it if you'd like. Again, as folks are thinking about questions that they want to ask or to put on the agenda for the President's Luncheon next month. We do have annual meeting contests closing this Thursday and Friday. That registration, the standard registration closes October 1st, that's Friday. TMN Tuesday in 2 weeks. All things annual meeting starts on the 21st, starting with the chapter presidents and advisors meeting. Virtual registration ends the last day of the conference, so you can actually register all the way up until the very last day of the conference. TMN Tuesday, November 9th. Chapter presidents meeting November 15th. And note that chapter presidents meeting is not the standard last Monday of the month, but it has been moved up due to the holidays. TMN Tuesday, December 7th. And actually we hadn't announced it, but Steve Hall is going to be doing a presentation on the 3 R's of hunting and fishing. That's an awesome presentation. And December 13th will be our final chapter presidents meeting of 2021. We will be encouraging you to invite your new chapter leadership for 2022 to that final chapter presidents meeting so that they can see just our standard chapter presidents flow of how the meeting has generally run.
I have a question in the chat about, I don't think we covered it. What if someone needs to change their annual meeting registration type?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry, I messaged Betsy directly. If you need to change your annual meeting registration type, we're doing that on an individual basis right now. That does have to happen before October 1st. And that would just be an email to myself. I see a question kind of following up from Sharon. Saying I'm registered in person. Will I be able to view the sessions online after the meeting? Yes, that's actually one of the perks of being an in-person registrant, is that you get kind of both experiences. You get the full in-person experience and you get all the recordings post-event as well.
Just like a virtual registrant would, the recordings, just like any other virtual registrant, get both worlds.
Yeah. Any other questions? I feel like I said that this was going to be a long meeting and you guys just turned your cameras off and said, no, we're good.
Yeah, we thought it would be long.
Yeah. See, Carolyn turned her camera back on. All right, well, I'm not going to hold you guys much longer, and certainly there's still lots to do in the day. So again, this was our September 27th meeting. We have our next meeting October 21st at the annual meeting, and then after that, November 15th and December 13th. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. And if there are any questions in the interim, please feel free to
Our
shoot them our
quickest
way.
president's meeting ever.
Oh, knock on wood. All right, I'm going to end the recording now, and we'll get this up and wrapped up.